Hey, what's the deal? This is your boy J Mike, and today we're gonna do like a unboxing, kind of like a comparison between plates that we use on the platform. So often I get asked about, should I buy calibrated plates? Should I get a decent bar? Should I get collars? What should I do? And for 99% of the people that powerlift, most people are better off just using regular gym weights. There's a small percentage of people who are actually lifting at a level where it would make sense to actually purchase a set of kilo plates. Now, in this market, there are very few companies that are actually making plates, and we have Titan, you have Rogue, you have Ivanko, you have Ivanko, you have, I believe, Strength Shop. It's like under 10 companies that I know of offhand that are making these plates. And probably one of the bigger deterrents about buying these plates is the fact that it's going to cost you between $125 for a red and up to $175 for a red. But then on top of that, you have shipping charges. So this means 2 reds in most cases is going to cost you a little over $300. So if you think about it, if you're lifting any kind of weight, you're looking at least, you need at least 6 reds, I think, if you're on a competitive level. So you can go and do the math on that. And if you think about it, I have an entire set with a few left over. But I didn't have 7 reds. I had 6 reds. I needed 14 reds, and I only had 12. And what that meant was that the highest I can go without breaking down plates or whatever, I can do 804 or something like that. And the number that is in my head currently is 375 kilos or 826.7, I believe. And I wanted to show you guys how these plates over time age. Now, there are several advantages to using these plates, right? One is almost like gold. They don't lose their value much. So if you purchase a set of plates, it's very possible that you can get exactly what you paid for the plates back in return, because in a lot of cases it takes weeks, months sometimes to get these plates from these different companies. So someone may be willing to just pay you what you paid retail, basically, without shipping, for the plates instead, you know. So you might run across something like that. But also they actually pay for itself over a period of time, and I'll get into that after I do this unboxing for what I have today. And what I have today are a set, or not a set, but actually they're sold in a set. Yeah, that's right. I purchased the Rogue. They're heavy. I purchased the Rogue 25 kg plates, and I needed this so that I could have a definitive goal to look forward to on the platform. I could probably come up with this number, 826.7, without having a red. But I think knowing that 7 reds on each side is my goal on squat and deadlift, to be honest with you, I think it would be giving me a better opportunity to have a clear shot at it, right? So this is a real live unboxing. I've yet to see these. And another thing about these is that I've had some before, and they came to me damaged. The paint job on them was really, really bad, and I actually had to return them. So this is the first time I'm actually seeing this in person. And I must say, the front side looks really good. The paint is really, really even. The color is more dull. And my sticker, my IPF approved sticker is like coming off a little bit. I guess they use these stickers to cover up the weights inside, to balance the weights. But this actually is a lot better than the plates that I got the first time I ordered. Now, the other plate that I have reds in is made by Ivanko. Now, there was a time where you can only get Ivankos or Elenkos. And the thing with Ivanko is that it wasn't, you just couldn't go and buy it. you had to go through someone. So I actually went through Texas Strength and Conditioning, or Texas Strength Systems, to get these plates 3 years ago. And the paint on this has actually done very well. I actually keep these indoors, or not indoors, but in my garage, so it has to go through the weather and the changes. So there's some wear and tear from there, but the paint on it is a lot more vibrant than what you see on the Rogue plates. But overall, I really like these plates. The weights are up front, they're not covered. It gives the plate a little more character. But over the years, I just noticed that the Ivanko paint jobs are just much better than what the Rogue did. And that kind of justifies the price difference a little bit for me. I would much rather pay a little bit more to have the plates hold up a little bit better over time. But these actually did a pretty good job with that. Now, I'm going to show you how the other plates varied, right? Now, these right here were the replacements. When these came, the paint was like gummy. It was like you could touch it and it'll leave fingerprints on the paint. And all across the top. And wherever I put them down at, they left white marks all over my equipment, all over my fat bench or whatever. And I actually called them, sent them pictures. And to be honest with you, they sent me out another set of weights. So, you know, it was on me to do it, get rid of the other weights or whatever. But they did make that correction with the weights. So I was actually glad that they did that on the customer side, you know, especially the fact that my original gym was basically all Rogue. So I felt they handled the situation pretty good. But I'm going to do some close-ups on this as well so you can see and judge for yourself if you want to make that kind of investment. But I had that one. And I also bought some chrome change plates. Now these have rusted a little bit. They're like a chrome or nickel or something like that. But they rusted, they got wet. You know, I have little leaks in my garage sometime, and it rains, and it was in an area, and they got wet and they rusted. So I'm not 100% sure. I know that some of this was my issue and my error, but I don't know if how good of a job they would have stood up to without that as well, because they started flaking a little bit even before they got wet or anything. So if you're looking to buy these plates, these things are very expensive, you know, for these and another little set of chromes, like a quarters or something like that. It was like $100 and some, you know. So I would say that if you're going to spend your money on these plates, one, you should look at it like it's a true investment that actually pays back over time, because when you start getting your own equipment, it actually starts to mimic what you do in competition. You're not intimidated by the bar. I just remember training with regular plates and weights, and then when I get to the meet, it would either make me feel too cocky because it felt like I was lifting so much more weight at home, and then when I got to the meets, it was like not as much and I didn't respect the weight the same, or the weights are different. Like when you deadlift with thick plates versus these skinny plates, it affects your deadlift. It pushes the weight out more. The bar breaks a little bit different. So it is a different lift. So I like to train how I play. And that's why I have the same bars we use in competition, the same weights, the same competition bench. Only thing that I didn't do, which will come tomorrow, is that I have a fat pad that's coming. That's a competition style in terms of width. I believe that was starting to affect my bench too much. So I'm taking that variable away. But I'll get into that on another video when I do that tomorrow. But I'm going to go ahead and open up this second plate and see what kind of condition this one came in. So far, I'm happy with how the first plate came out. So let's see. With two. All right. I know for sure the UPS man was really upset to have to deliver these, because it was probably it's a nice little walk to my place, especially if you deliver to the front door. But this one looks nice as well. The paint on is pretty good. Only a couple little smooth spots, but overall this one looks good on the front. And the back looks good as well. Actually, it looks really good. It looks much better than the first one. But what I will say is that I believe the paint that they use on the Ivankos is it's a shinier paint, and it pops a little bit more. So if you're also into the aesthetics of what the plates are, I think the Ivanko plate is just a better looking plate viewing it on tape or whatever. But let's see. So we have that. So probably a side-by-side comparison of the Ivanko and the Rogue plate, excuse me. And like I said, now you can make a decision for yourself. You can look at it and see which one would suit your needs better. But I mean, it looks good so far. It's just the color is a little bit off. It's gonna throw the rest of my plates off. But you know, it is what it is. So all right, so in conclusion, what I would say is that if you can afford it, or if money was not an object, I would tell you to get whatever the Fed that you lift in uses the most to compete with. When I was in USPA 3 years ago, they used Texas strength bars. They used the power bar on bench. They used the deadlift bar on deadlift, and they used the squat bar on squat. So if I was still lifting in that federation, I would have the 8-foot squat bar, 7-foot, 7.5-foot deadlift bar, as well as the power bar. But since I lift in the USAPL and the IPF, I'm going to more side to what we use in that federation, which they do have Texas strength bars, Texas power bars in some meets, and you know it's a little bit weird when you use them for all three lifts, especially for squat. They're a little more forgiving on deadlift, and bench press it kind of doesn't matter as much. But I went with the Ohio power bar, the KG chrome version, instead of the Texas bar, and I actually still have it. I don't use it, but I would say that if you're doing this at a high level, make sure you stay in pocket with the equipment. You know, don't get a funky company's version of a power bar. Like, no offense to Titan, but I wouldn't get a Titan power bar to try to train with, because no federation's gonna really use it. It will affect your lifts. Also, get a set of calibrated collars as well. I've seen too many times people not account for the collars, and the collars are basically 11 pounds. So when you're doing these lifts and then you go in competition, it could possibly throw you off as well. So I believe in just getting everything competition as possible. So in terms of the plates, if money was not an issue or object, I would lean towards Ivanko, probably because I'm an IPF lifter and that's all we use. So in that sense, having all that equipment would make sense for me. But there's nothing wrong with the Ohio power bars. I actually love them a lot, as well as the plates. I guess, you know, the plates are pretty good as well. But it's more or less about aesthetics at that point. If you have a certain budget, you know that the Ivanko is going to be damn near double what the Rogue is. The Ivanko is a little bit more than the Rogue. So take that in consideration. Also take in consideration that Rogue does free shipping stuff around this time, where you might be able to get a good deal on the shipping with these plates, and would be the best time to actually order it. If you're in the business of getting a rack or a custom made rack, I would go with Noble Vice Performance. they will make you whatever you want to your specs specifically. So that will probably be another video as well where I break down my rack and all the things I had done to it. But in terms of the plates, you got a chance to see them tonight. They look good. I suspect that they'll perform well, just because the last time I purchased the plates, you know, two years ago, the paint job was really bad on them. It looks like they've made those corrections. So based on what I've seen tonight so far, they get a 2 thumbs up for me. If you guys are interested in the plates, you know, go to Rogue. They still were in stock. And the other thing is that when you purchase them, did I purchase them in 2s? I can't remember, but I think it was $125 a piece, and I ordered the belt squat as well, so the shipping was kind of funny, but I think it was under $300 for the pair shipped, so you can't beat that. I think it's a fair price for it. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you found this informative, and later.